Mike, no one could have predicted gold. It closed Monday 1678. I mean, that blows your mind, doesn't it? Blows my mind. It had 4,000 years of consistent store of value, and people make fun of crypto. You know, a lot of people that when crypto and gold were or Bitcoin and gold were at the same price, they staked their whole reputation on what was going to be better. I mean, at least Bitcoin is still at, whatever, 18,000, 19,000. I mean, gold is at 1,600. Do you have an explanation for that? Is it been replaced by crypto? Is it? I mean, it's bizarre.
I think the explanation really is at the beginning of the year, beginning of last year, people didn't think you were going to be able to raise rates a lot. And we're on our way to 4%. And so Chairman Powell and the rest of the global central bankers found their central bank courage. They found the DNA of a real central banker and are aggressively tightening rates around the world. We had 100 basis points today in Sweden. And so if the idea was you're buying a lot of these assets to fight inflation, to be an inflation hedge, you now have central bankers that are fighting inflation. And so
I think it's a 40-year high in inflation, and you've got, Putin sending bombs near nuclear plant. I mean, everything that you want is happening for gold. And it's
other than this, in the long run, gold will win and Bitcoin will win if central bankers and governments revert back.
To go back to okay. Well, we're here. They're already getting a lot of pressure to stop. So who knows? Maybe they have feet of clay, and I mean, it wouldn't take much for them to say, "Oh, okay." The market.
The real disaster will be when one of our presidents appoints a Treasury secretary that we all scratch our head, right? Like you can like or not like Janet Yellen, but she's a very ethical and smart and competent woman. You might agree or not agree with Steve Mnuchin, but he was well trained. He knew what he was doing, and he was doing what he thought was right. Like we put smart, competent people in those spots. The moment we put a political stoolie in one of those spots, then it's all over.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Mike Novogratz playing the Hegelian dialectic again. And guys, we know Bitcoin and gold is manipulated by the Fed. That was the point of the Fed getting us off of the gold standard. So then therefore they could print money into infinity. And we know with this digital economy, blockchain gives them even more power. Now, Mike Novogratz says Janet Yellen and Steve Mnuchin is doing a great job. The minute they put a political stooge, that's when we're in trouble. Guys, we know Janet Yellen, Steve Mnuchin, they were all NWO chess pieces just like Gary Gensler. I proved it time and time again. But those statements let you know the NWO puppets. We know he's the original Goldman Sachs guy. Worked with Gary Gensler. And we have the central banks moving in lockstep, raising rates. The Disneyland is over. Sweden Central Bank raised rates 100 basis points. We're going to raise rates 75 basis points. We have the Bank of England on Thursday is going to be raising rates. Guys, remember what the Crypto Teacher told you, wrote about it a long time ago. They're going to destroy this legacy market. So then therefore the digital economy can rise. The fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember the Crypto Teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Let's put your macro hat on for a moment, given that the Fed is going to be meeting later today. What do you think Jay Powell should be doing? What would you tell him if he was watching right now?
Listen, I think he threw us all off track a little bit 2 meetings ago when he said, I'm going to raise rates and then pause and watch. And he had to backtrack. The last CPI number was bad. And so I think he's going to go, I'm going to raise rates. I'm going to stay vigilant. And I'm going to raise rates until I see inflation start to crack. We have this tale of two economies. On the one hand, you look at the FedEx report or what you just heard about, New Jersey and how many businesses think they're going into recession. On the other hand, you have services economy booming, and you still have really sticky inflation and owner's equivalent rent in labor and wages. You've got a a settlement coming with the railroad workers, it's roughly 5-6% a year. And so I think he's in a tough position. He's going to have to stay hawkish. I don't think the markets will love it. That said, we're
How
starting
hawkish are we talking, Mike? Is this 75 basis points? Is it 100
it's
basis
75,
points?
Yeah, they're going to go 75 basis points. I would be shocked if he goes 100, given their
by the end of the year, how high has he gone?
He's going to go 75, 75, and then probably pause, or 75, 75, 25. I think we're getting towards terminal rates at 4.5%. That's priced in 4 to 4.5. Though you're kind of, Pollyannish to think where this is going to stop, right? We haven't had inflation since 1970s, and there's all these mechanisms. I've got a stake in Bojangles, and it's interesting, right? When you're a chicken business, food prices went way up, labor prices went way up, margins come down, you finally raise prices, and that cycle just keeps going. And so you're seeing that in all kinds of businesses. Right. And so I think really understanding inflation is a mystery to a lot of people in the markets because we haven't had it. And so that's where I kind of think picking terminal rate is a difficult game right now.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.